Hello and welcome back to Digitized. I'm your host, Mark T. Schweinitz, president of the Social Media Club, Great Lakes Bay. Digitized is a program about social media marketing. Each week we focus on a different subject, and today's subject is social media for event marketing. As I was at a social media conference recently, I noticed during the event people had their phones out and were on Twitter, Facebook, etc. So right now, social media for event marketing encompasses not just before the event, but during the event and after the event. To help us explore this topic in more detail, I've invited 3 guests who all have great experience using social media for event marketing. Let's go ahead and meet our guests. We have on my right here, Jill Allardyce. Jill is the president of the American Advertising Federation, Great Lakes Bay, a local advertising club here in the area. Jill also works at Saginaw Valley State University,
right.
Excuse me, as an associate director of creative... Assistant Director of Creative Services.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, thanks. Glad to have you on the show, Jill.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Glad to be
great.
here.
Thanks. And next to Jill, we have Kristen Squires. Kristen is the events coordinator for the Midland Center for the Arts. At the Midland Center for the Arts, big names come to town here. Bill Engvall, famous comedian, is coming next week. And I was also able to watch Brian Regan here in town. That was hilarious. Ended up buying several of his DVDs afterward. It was so good. So Kristen, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great. And next to Kristen is Barb Musig. Barb founded a advertising and communications agency about 15 years ago here in the area called Rocky Bay Communications. Barbara, thanks for coming tonight.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, great. All 3 of you have great experience in event marketing using social media. So I'll start out tonight and ask perhaps a question to each of you, and then we'll open it up to discussion. And the objective is that our viewers, if you have a business, small profit, or you're planning an event, even a birthday party or a family reunion, something, this might give you some ideas on how you can use social media for those events before, during, and after the event. I'll start with you, Kristen. Next week, as I'd mentioned, Bill Engvall is coming here to Midland, famous comedian. And part of that event is called Tweet Seats, I understand.
Yep.
I'm lucky enough to be able to participate in that for the first time. Could you tell us a little bit about this? What is Tweet Seats for an event?
Yeah, Tweet Seats is basically you invite some participants to come and sit and tweet about the live performance happening right in front of them. We have about 10 participants. We're all going to be sitting in the back row so we don't disturb any other patrons with our phones being out and everything. We have a specific hashtag. It's Bill Tweet Seats, so everybody can follow along and track the conversation. And it's basically just going to be these participants interacting with each other on Twitter and talking about hopefully the hilarious comedy that's happening right in front of them. So I think it's going to be fun. It's something that's relatively new. I think it's been happening across the country for 1 to 2 years, but not many people, I think, in this region have tried it out. So I think that, it'll be great to try, and I'm excited to see the results of it. So.
Right.
And how are you choosing the people that are going to be tweeting for you? Have they been selected?
Yes, they
Okay.
have. But if you want to come out
Oh,
and
no,
do
I
it,
just wondered what the process was.
I kind of just used my networks
Good.
and talked to
Perfect.
to people that I know and went about it that way.
Yeah.
And so
Interesting.
I noticed that Bill is quite active on Twitter himself. Is that actually him on Twitter, or does he have somebody working for him doing that?
I think some of it's him, but he does have a team. He has a smaller marketing team, but I think some of it is other people doing it for him too. So we'll obviously be using his username throughout the conversation at Bill Engvall, and Midland Center for the Arts will be the moderator, and that will be me actually. And I'll just be keeping the conversation going and asking questions, and I plan to add some anecdotes in there, maybe do some research and add some fun facts in there. throughout the conversation.
Okay. So what gave you the idea to do this Tweet Seats, and what are you hoping to get out of it for the center?
Yeah, I get daily emails about things happening within social media, and I read an article about Tweet Seats. I don't remember where this event was. It was a big concert somewhere, but I was like, oh, I've never heard of that before. So I just Googled it and started researching it a little bit more, and I thought this would be great for Midland Center for the Arts. What I hope to get out of this is some media attention, some public relations opportunities, because it is kind of a newer concept to this area. So I hope it gains some buzz on social media through the heavy hashtag usage. And I just want it to also be an enhanced experience for the patrons that are participating. These patrons, like you, are heavily involved with social media, and they're using it. So it's a little bit of, like I said, an enhanced experience, because not only are you coming to the performance, but you're interacting with others around you without having to say a word. So
Right.
So it might be helpful to people to know maybe what kind of guidance you give those people who are doing the Tweet Seats. Any kind of parameters you give them when you assign them those?
Yep. We obviously don't want to say you can only say positive things about Bill Engvall or Midland Center for the Arts. I don't want to put those kind of restrictions on them. But I am having a meet and greet before the show starts, and it's just kind of, like you said, to lay down those parameters and say, we really do want to keep this clean, and if you don't have anything nice to say, please just don't say it at all. I mean, I don't want to restrict any freedom of speech or anything like that, obviously, but
since most of the people coming are your friends anyways, I doubt we'll be
well, and it's going to be a
attacking
fabulous program, so
Bill
it'll be
Engvall's
great.
great, so
it's not a big political debate or anything.
Exactly. I don't think
That's
anything's
pretty
gonna
low risk there. That'll be good.
A light topic. So.
So
Great.
but I am gonna meet with them and kind of go over a few things, just details. So.
Oh, this sounds very exciting. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So.
Yeah. So, Jill, you just ran a marathon, right, about a week ago?
I did.
That's amazing. Yeah,
Good
I've never
for
run a
you.
marathon. I'm impressed by anybody who does that.
I could show you the blister on my big toe, but I'll save you the.
Yeah, well, if all you have is a blister, that's pretty good for 26 miles. So, tell me about how you use social media with your running club and marathons, things like that.
Absolutely, yeah. Social media is a great way for people with like interests to find each other. It's really easy to do searches with certain keywords where you can find these groups that are out there in your community. So, I found that I'm an avid runner, and I found people to train with, and these people in these communities, they're really friendly. They want to meet new people with like interests. So, it's just these communities just sort of blow up. So, in the Great Lakes Bay region, you share the passion and you share tips, training routes. You start conversations. You start
Photos
little blogs
from the event, things
photos,
like that.
Yeah. Pictures are worth 1,000 words. So lots of photos. We create events for running, to invite people with certain paces and locations to meet.
So have there been people that joined the group because they heard about it on Facebook or social media?
They have, yeah, they have. Word of mouth is really popular. So, people will see a post that maybe one of their friends made on their news feed that's tied to our running club name, Half Fast Runners. And so, say that real fast 3 times. Got
to pronounce it well.
Yeah. So,
this is a family show.
So they'll see the postings on their own news feed, so then it spreads that way, and people want to join. So yeah, that
brings me to the point. I met you and Barb a couple of weeks ago at an event for the American Advertising Federation.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
And I heard about that because someone on Facebook sent me the invitation.
Oh, great.
And I'm Barb. Are you vice president of the association also?
I'm on the board.
On the board, okay.
I think I'm membership and
sponsorship.
Yeah. Yeah, membership and
And
sponsorship.
Okay, new
We're gonna
rules,
get on that.
getting used to.
Yeah,
Okay.
and so especially with something like membership and sponsorship, the social networking that we can do is going to help me tremendously with both of those things. To reach out to people that are interested and
right.
connect.
And
Especially with like LinkedIn, it's so easy to
Yep.
find people on LinkedIn with the professional
Right.
interests. So
so what are your thoughts about, in the early days of internet and chatting online, it started to be popular, and then people started to get scared about meeting people that they had met online at events, things. But it seems like that's gone down quite a bit. Do you feel like the trust has rebuilt in terms of if there's an event like that, people aren't afraid that they'll show up and it'll be a dark alley and they'll get mugged or something like that?
I think part of what builds that trust is you go to smaller groups. You're not just going out to anybody that you don't know.
Right.
It's you're connecting. One,
So there is a
I may
connection
not know,
in common.
Right. I may not know Jill, but I know Kristen, so we're going to make that connection. So there's a
Right.
linkage to people that you know.
Oh, yeah. I think
so
that's a
it
great
makes
point.
people feel
Definitely.
safer.
Yeah, and you can kind of check them out too and see what they've been doing with their social
Sure.
media, and you
Yeah.
can tell if they're spammers or if they are those creepers.
Right.
Yeah.
By the types
And
of things they post about and talk about.
And
How
a
they
nice
interact with
thing
other people.
about that, to your point, is that it's much more thorough now than it used to be. Before it was just like 347 at AOL. It could be anybody.
Right,
Yeah.
But now you
right.
can type someone's name in on Google and their LinkedIn, Facebook, all of their information, photos is going to come up. So it's hopefully harder to be dangerous in the area.
yeah, right. Yeah, it really exposes you. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So Barb, let's hear a little bit about your communications agency and how you've made the transition into social media.
Well,
with the
it's
change
actually
stuff.
kind of interesting. My agency, if you will, is really, I'm the principal, and I use freelancers to do project work with me and reach out to a lot of different clients. And what I've found is social networking is just another building block in any campaign or any way that we look at a client's situation. So it's another tool. It's another tool in our bag. But the part that is important to remember, I think, about social networking is you can't just all of a sudden pop in and do something, expect it to be
Right.
successful. You have to build. Every day you have to build and continue to reach out and connect with people and really make it work for you. But then when you need it, it's there.
Right.
There are, one of the things that I do, well, I have what did I decide it was called? A 6-step. Yeah, 6 steps that I do every day, and I do them to build my social networks.
That's a great idea.
Yeah,
The first
let's
one
hear your
is, let's
6
see, the
steps
first
here.
step is I post a significant update at least twice a week. So it can be something about an event. It could be something about a new research or study or whatever that I've heard. I also request to link, usually on LinkedIn for me, sometimes Facebook, with anybody that I met that day. I go look for them. Before the end of the day, I go check to see and reach out to them because it's fresh in my mind and fresh in their mind. Sure. I scan the groups that I'm part of to see if there's anything interesting and decide if I should participate. And the other area on LinkedIn that I go to a lot is the answers section, where people can post a question on any topic.
Right.
You know, maybe they're going to host an event, and how can I work social networking into the promotion of it?
Oh, that's a
and
great
then
idea.
experts give you feedback, and you
that's
make
great.
great connections. So to tell you the truth, I have certain areas that I love to talk about
Yeah.
and share my expertise. And I have a Word document with some answers that are the commonly asked questions, and I can kind of copy, paste, and customize it pretty
Okay.
quickly. And then people will they'll see the answer, but they'll also reach back to me individually and say, hey, tell me more about this.
Okay.
In
So
fact, I've accidentally picked up a number of clients that way.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
great.
that's a great.
Yeah.
So building up your own personal brand by being a thought leader.
Yeah,
contributing
right,
to
exactly.
that
That's exactly what it is.
conversation, right?
I also